Shalom House was designed to give homeless men a place to call home for a temporary period of time, while at the same time receiving the services that they needed to become self-sufficient. When men came to Shalom House, they felt like they were joining a family, and they felt loved and cared for. There's a lot of people that have touched the lives of many men that have come through this place and to provide this encounter with Christ.
Father Richard Wimpy started Shalom House. We tried to provide a very peaceful, quiet, low-key environment with a lot of security because many of them never felt safe in their own childhood. And the men who stayed here were very protective of us women, especially on the staff. We always had donuts and coffee for them in the morning, and they came back in at 4 o'clock, and we had the coffee hot, and then we served supper at 6. Once in a while, we'd get in a group of young men unexpectedly, and we had not fixed enough food. But I have seen these casseroles multiply.
Dawn and I lived upstairs above where the men stay as live-in volunteers. Our director was Mary Kay Meyer, and she led Shalom House, I believe, for about a total of 20 years.
She was like a mother figure to these men. She cared about them, and they knew it.
I said, "What are you most proud of?" And she said, "In all the years we've run this, I've never, ever had to call the police."
Many here were looking for a friend, support, just someone to be with.
To really thrive here, one had to be a lover of people and be willing to set aside judgments, which is hard for all of us, encourage them to grow and to get better, but in the moment, simply to love them.
There was a gentleman sitting next to me, and he volunteered his story. I didn't ask him for it. He's a PhD biochemist who, currently sober, had lost several teaching positions because of alcohol.
I remember one gentleman who, he said, "Well, I've never just sat down with somebody for dinner and had a conversation." And it just really spoke to me, the brokenness that so many of the men that we saw experienced in their lives.
The question just kept coming to me, are we really doing the best we can for the men? We need to have some privacy, not a bunk room, more bathroom space so that 24 to 40 men weren't sharing 2 shower stalls, more living space, a real dining room, mental health and alcohol and drug services for some of the needs of the men. The answer was, Jesus expects more of you. July 1st, 2021 was the day that we officially closed the doors. We decided taking on the Sanctuary of Hope, which has been owned by the diocese for many, many years. It's a large building, which would allow us to serve 60 people. Private dining space, more living space, room for group work. There's 25 acres of benches and places for people to have time for quiet and reflection.
Our men will receive weekly case management to go for employment, permanent housing, a treatment plan with our partners on site, and not have to travel. It'll be literally a village around them. A lot of people think, oh, you're just a man, you should be able to figure it out, toughen up, but they're still human beings. They're still people that need support, that need someone to listen and to guide them. We all fall short at some point in our lives, so why not extend the hand or the ear to help these individual men?
I have a lot of hope for them, and I want to encourage them because they have wraparound services, and people need those services.
You wouldn't do this for 30 years if you didn't sense God's presence in the work.
I'm excited for the men that will soon walk through these doors, to see the smiles on their face, to know that they will come in and feel safe.
I think it's hard for a lot of us to really rely on God's providence because we tend to rely on our jobs, our families, structures that are kind of built to work for us. When somebody has the benefit of none of those, people come to know God because that may be all that they have. And I think that that's a wonderful witness for the rest of us to see, the depth of God's love for a person regardless of their social status, possessions, their mistakes.